I've always been the kind of person that doesn't mind getting their hands dirty and gets in there and just does stuff. Because if you do it with your hands, you have a better chance of remembering how to do stuff. Or at least that's how it's always been for me. I learn by doing, not by reading. It's been like that through elementary, middle, and high school. I've always been the kind of person that I'll sit there and as long as I can physically, like in science, I was always really good because of labs and stuff like that. Whereas other classes like writing and history, that kind of thing, haven't been that good for me because there's not really a whole lot of hands-on to do. My dyslexia, it's been a blessing and a curse at the same time. It's been a blessing because it's taught me patience, it's taught me humility, it's taught me that no matter what's thrown in your way, you can always persevere. And that took me the longest time to realize and understand. Like, you see your brother, he's able to read and write and do all this other stuff, no problem. And yet it's always been a big struggle for me. Being in automotive at TSTC, it's been a blessing. It's taught me skills, and it's taught me life lessons that I will never forget and that I'll always value and cherish. It's also introduced me to a whole nother world of what I would call non-office jobs or anything like that, because if I were to sit in an office, I'd drive myself crazy. I have to be up and doing something. I love working with cars because to me it's hands-on. You get to be in there, you get to work, and you read and you write, but not to the extent of like a teacher or hospital worker or anything like that. To me, it comes natural and it comes easy to me, and I enjoy doing that. I always remember as a child, like growing up, I'd always be the little kid that is like, parents buy me a stereo or like a little cheap radio, and I'd be so curious about the way it works or how it works that I'd tear it apart and try to put it back together, but I never could. I remember my parents, they weren't always so happy about that kind of thing. I learned invaluable lessons that way. It's nice to know that you can get things accomplished like that. You get a real, working with your hands, you get an immediate, sense of accomplishment, because you can sit there and say, oh, well, I just did all this, where you can physically see it. Whereas, what my brother does, all he could say is, oh, I did a bunch of paperwork and looked at a computer. To me, I just couldn't do that. That's just me personally.